Hello, hello, hello. Doesn't look like we have a lot of people here right now. That's okay. Got my tea started, and I got all three of my decks here shuffled up. But we should probably take a look before we really get started. Kind of talk about the decks a little bit, and then see where we're looking on our starting hands. We don't with these starting hands because we're playing real casually, and I'd hope that any group that plays casually does this. That pretty much you just kind of go with it until you got a decent hand. You don't want the most broken hand you can possibly get each time you play, but you want to be able to play. So it's good when you're among friends if everybody can. They're not either getting mana flooded or mana screwed. So that's all we're going to do is when we look at these opening hands. Now, starting off with this first deck. This first deck is Reaper King. It's actually my lands-based deck. It used to be Progenitus, but it's now been changed to Reaper King mostly because I wanted to use Reaper King for something. But I also really wanted to call this the Scarecrow's Walk at Midnight after the Goosebumps book because I'm a bit of a nerd, or at least I was when I was a kid. So with this one, at least this deck, the idea is that we have other than Reaper King, we basically have 0 creatures in the deck. I believe that it's 0. I think I got it down there. But we're going to use cards to create creatures and have them come into play as scarecrows. And so it's sort of a land-based combo deck, and it's also sort of hoping to take big advantage of Reaper King's ability that says that whenever a scarecrow enters the battlefield under your control, you can destroy target permanent. So we could use this to destroy people's lands. We're probably not going to unless we're kind of in the end game state where we really need to shut another player down so that we can win the game. So that may be a possibility, but generally with this deck, I'm just trying to clear the board and have little sort of overrun with creatures that have been turned into scarecrows. Because that's kind of that's the whole plot of that book was people kind of getting turned into scarecrows after the curse happened. So let's see what we got. We're not really looking good here because I know that we have more lands than one in the deck. So we're if I had a couple more lands, maybe it would be okay. We have some removal that we can do and some other stuff that might make for a good possibility. But right now, this isn't looking too good. So despite all these control cards, we're going to go and shuffle up and try again and hope that we get something a little bit better. Specifically, more land. Since we're a 5-color deck, like part of the whole deal here is that we want to see probably 3 lands in our starting hand. That would make things really comfortable, especially if we start with two lands and a ramp card that we can cast, generally pretty good. 3 lands and a ramp card, really good. That basically means that we'll probably be 1 land draw away from being able to play every color. Now, none of these decks are perfect with their mana bases, so it's not filled with a bunch of dual lands or anything like that. It has, I think each of them do have some number of dual land, Ravnica dual lands, which are the ones that come into play tapped unless you pay 2 life. So we'll definitely hope. We saw actually one of those just a little bit ago in that starting hand. So hold on one more second. Let me finish this last shuffle. These cards. So the other thing about this is that all of the I just used all of the leftover card sleeves I had from building decks to make this. So there's just I have no idea which card is in which sleeve, and I don't keep track of it. So it's funny to see, which is also why I don't normally get to play with this deck because it's normally it's frowned upon to do that. So oh man, we're looking really sweet here. Ooh. I'm really happy about what I'm seeing right here. So this is probably a really good hand. First of all, we're starting with Maze's End, which is the other kind of underlying reason to build this deck and keep it is because Maze's End is kind of a hilarious card to play. We can also start out by getting Vesuva out as a copy of Maze's End, so we can activate it multiple times. We can start doing it on and off every turn if we need to. and then 2 more lands to kind of deal with as we please, plus the Nature's Lore. Now, the one thing about this is that we're going really, really slow. We have 4 lands that come into play tapped, and one of them returns a land. So we're probably going to look at trying to cast this Nature's Lore as soon as we possibly can, so that we have at least one land that we might be able to get into play untapped for shenanigans. So let's go and draw our first card and see what we have. Ooh, Watery Grave. That's really good. That's what we wanted to see. So we're going to do... Okay, so let's look what we have. We know Guildgate has to come into play tapped for the colors, so let's go ahead and get that out there. And what we'll do next turn is we'll go ahead and do Watery Grave and ramp with Nature's Lore. Passing to the next deck. The next deck that we have is Horde of Notions. It is a tribal deck. It's all about elementals, but also has a kind of sub-theme of dredge stuff, because dredge goes so well with Horde of Notions. So really what we're looking at doing is getting out Horde of Notions as quickly as we can, and then just kind of spamming elementals from our graveyard. So let's look and see if we're going to get to do that anytime in the near future. Not looking good. These next 2 cards better be lands here. So are we lucky? Nope. No, not at all. So let's go ahead and reshuffle this. 1 land is not enough to play this deck, especially at 5 colors. If we were a competitive deck, then maybe we could, but we're not at all even remotely a competitive deck. So let's just keep going. So the other kinds of things that a lot of the things that we have looking forward in this deck is sort of not only stuff that dredges and stuff that reanimates, but stuff that just generally takes advantage of Horde of Notions' ability to cast things from the graveyard. So we'll have stuff that like allows us to double cast elementals from the graveyard, or like make copies from things that enter from the graveyard and stuff like that. So we're going to try to take advantage of our graveyard and that reanimation stuff as much as we can. Especially with as many elementals that have Evoke. I think I have probably a good 4 different creatures with Evoke. So we have a mix of those kinds of elementals that immediately sacrifice themselves when they come into play. We also have some number of really big elementals, stuff like Magmatic Force, which deals 3 like kind of lightning bolts at the beginning of each turn with its ability. So it does like 3 damage to each opponent. Then I think I have the opposite of that one that gains 3 life each turn, which really, really quickly, it does more than what it seems like it should be able to, but being able to heal yourself every turn is way better than it should be a lot of times. So let's hope for a little bit better hand here. It's been a while since I played any of these decks, honestly. Okay, so that's not too bad. Not great. We're still kind of waiting for that other land. So there we go. We're actually really close to where we want to be with this. Mainly because we have 2 lands that can do stuff. We have a ramp card once we draw another land. And then we have some interplay here with Golgari Thug being able to dredge stuff from the graveyard. And we can use Epiphany at the Drown Yard once we have enough mana. We can start Factor Fictioning ourselves, essentially. And then using Bloodwater Entity to return Epiphany at the Drown Yard or something else back to our hand. So this is actually a pretty decent hand. I'm much happier with this one. It has potential. It doesn't have very many really early plays necessarily, but if we can get 1 more land, then we're golden. So, and there's our other land. So let's go ahead and play that one. And we'll play Savage Lands next turn, followed by City of Brass, and then we'll have our Chromatic Lantern out. Okay, let's see. So, our next one is Ramos. Ramos Dragon Engine, or as I say, the Golden Dragon. Because this deck is really tuned down. Normally Ramos is one that you have to get really frightened about really quickly. It still can be pretty dangerous if you're not paying attention. If you don't pay it any respect, then it will come back and bite you in the face or drown you in fire or something like that. But the idea behind this deck is that every single card in the deck is multicolored, or what's called, I guess, either multicolored, also known as gold cards, and then also hybrid cards, which I still call gold cards, which is sort of the play on words there, golden dragon, haha. And that's to tune Ramos's power down, because there's still a lot of really strong multicolored cards, but when you have every single card in the deck multicolored, then it gets a lot trickier to have the mana that you need to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. And the mana base for this one is specifically pretty weak, with a lot of lands that come into play tapped and stuff like that. So with any luck, we won't see this just totally take over the game, and if it does, maybe we'll shuffle up and try again. But it's cool because we get to play cards that normally we wouldn't play because they're just like slightly too weak to go into a deck. But in this one, because we don't have any other choice, we kind of have to run them. So it's nice, the restriction kind of helps out with that. So let's get a good hand here. Let's see what we have. Oh man, this is going to be a theme tonight, isn't it? So we have one land, but it's not like a... Okay, so here's the difficulty. We're really close to playing most of the cards here, so we can't play these for sure, but we can play... We would be really close to playing these ones with the lands that we have. We just need one more land to be able to fill it out. And if we do that, then we can do Savala Ice Shaper, which allows us to create rocks to smooth our mana out. Mana rock being just an artifact that produces mana. So if we can do this, then we can actually get our way into everything else that we need. So I'm willing to take a risk on this one. I'm still kind of concerned since we have multiple cards in our hand that are just totally unplayable at this point. But like I said, if we get lucky and one of the few top cards is a land, which it is, holy crap. And that's the best one in the deck, really. I mean, Command Zone being able to, or Command Tower being able to have any color of mana, so that's really good for us. And I think we'll go ahead and play it. We're not really concerned. Normally, it might not be smart to play it. It's kind of hard to tell. In just kind of pick-up games at stores, you may want to hold it back depending upon what you can do and what you need it for early on. Namely because somebody could be a little sneaker and step on your land with a strip mine or something like that and destroy it, and then you're really out of luck. So I think it's okay looking at these other decks. Most likely they're not going to be playing strip land just because they're all 5 colors, so I think we're pretty safe here. And to just go ahead and pass a turn, and like I said, our plan is to ramp once we can get there. So let's move back to our Reaper King. Going to draw Dissipate, a control card, so that's not too bad. We don't have the mana to pay for it quite yet, but what we are going to do is we're going to play Watery Grave into play untapped, which means that we lose 2 life, taking us down to 38. So let me get out some couple of dice here for that. So now we are at 38, and we're doing that so that we can use a green here and one other color of mana to play Nature's Lore. So I search for a forest and put that onto the battlefield. One of the better ramp cards that you can play. So let's take a look and see what we need. So let's see. Blue, we're already covered with blue, otherwise I would say blue. White may be a good choice just because we do have Idyllic Tutor in our hand and we can find probably a really good enchantment that we might want. So I'm thinking that let's go and get white just in case, and we'll see how that plays out, which means it's Temple Garden. Normally, since Nature's Lore doesn't put into play tapped, we would be able to play it untapped, but we don't have anything to do with this Temple Garden, so we're going to go ahead and put it into play tapped through its ability. Otherwise, we'd have to pay 2 life, so we don't want to hurt ourselves too much if we can help it. we kind of hang. The Reaper King deck is a kind of sit back and protect ourselves as much as we can, especially with the strategy that we're going with right now. Most of our cards are kind of bent for controlling and activating Maze's End. So that's what we're going to focus on, is trying to do that, which means we're playing a pretty long game here to do that. So let me shuffle real quick a couple of times, cut the deck, and let's see. That's the end of our turn. We're going to go ahead and pass to the next people, which is Horde of Notions. So Horde of Notions, I think our game plan is pretty set. A regular forest, that's not too bad. So we could play that regular forest. It's kind of unfortunate. We could have, if we played Savage Lands instead, if we had played this one, we could have gotten black and gone ahead and played our Golgari Thug and maybe gotten a little more towards our goal of dredging stuff. But I think that it's okay. It's okay that we didn't really misplay, but we'll go ahead and put Savage Lands into play tapped, and now we don't have any tapped lands in our hand, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and pass. Now let's look at Ramos again. And Ramos, oh, terminate, that's good. Okay, so we're not going to do anything important. We're just going to play Swamp and then pass, because we're waiting to be able to get our ramp guy out. So moving back here, we're going to untap, draw a card. It is a Blood Crypt. Wow, okay, that was the one we threw away. So let's go and put it into our hand. We're not gonna beat around the bush too much. I think we're gonna go ahead and reveal our plan to get Maze's End started. And with Maze's End, basically its ability is it comes into play tapped. So if we're able to, we're going to fix that later, but it comes into play tapped. Then you can add a mana, or you can pay 3 mana and look through your deck for a gate card and put it into play. So that's these ones. So the guild gates. There's 10 different guild gates in the deck, and after activating this, if I do have all 10, then I win the game. And then Maze's End returns to my hand, and I have to replay it again. So that's why we want it to come into play untapped, just because it's such a pain to have to play it all the time, which is why. So while we're doing that, let's go ahead and Idyllic Tutor, search our library for an enchantment. So we don't really know what anybody else is doing, and it's kind of weird to go ahead and do this so early, but I haven't played this deck in a while, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do. I have one card here that I think I may get. We're going to see if there's anything better, really. I'm guessing that there's probably not, although if I do, now that I think about it, I'm hoping, there's one card I'm kind of hoping to run into, which will definitely change the game for us and just probably put us on a path to pretty much win the game really quickly. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah. I don't think there's no way that there's anything else. So normally I would use Idyllic Tutor maybe to grab the cards that I need to turn things into scarecrows, but instead, since we're on the Maze's End path for this deck, I'm going to go and grab Burgeoning. So Burgeoning has whenever an opponent plays a land, you may choose a land from your hand and put it into play. So now we're going to go bananas once we play this card. It's going to be insane. Nobody's going to know what to do with themselves, I think. It's not gonna be good for anybody else. We are going to get so much ramp. It's because we're going to be playing 2 Maze's End every turn cycle and activating at least one of them, and then re-putting it into play probably almost immediately. So this isn't. They better hope that they don't draw any more lands, because it's only gonna help me ultimately. Let's go and cut. And stick it right there. Put that into my hand and pass again. Okay. Yeah, Horde of Notions. Not too happy to see that right now. We're going to have to book it. Cascading Cataracts. That's an okay card. Let's see what we want to do with it. And I think ultimately, unfortunately, we just have to go ahead and play it. And then play our Chromatic Lantern. So our goal now, basically all we're going to do, our next turn is Horde of Notions, and we're attacking the player that's getting Maze's End. Okay, and Ramos too is kind of concerned because we're going really slow. So bring the light. We're going to put that into our hand. We're going to play Moss Fire Valley. We'll use a swamp to activate it for red and green. Command Tower for any color mana. And we will play Savala Ice Shaper. And hopefully we can get to 6 mana before something ends the game prematurely. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle back over here to our Reaper King deck. Gonna untap, draw a card. It is a Brainstorm, that's not too bad. So here's the question. What to do. We want to activate Maze's End this turn, but we also we really want to play this Burgeoning. So I think what we're doing is we're going to take an extra 2 damage, 16, and then we will use a mana to play Burgeoning first, and then we will activate our Maze's End, which returns it to our hand, and we search for a Guild Gate. So the colors we're really missing here, we have blue, green, we have all of the colors, but I'm really thinking, let's see, maybe we get something with red, I'm thinking. Let's see where our red ones are. I mean, that's tempting, but that's tempting too. I think red-green is probably the smartest bet, just in case something gets destroyed. We don't really like that, so let me go back through real quick. I know we have a number of green already, but it's always good to have a little bit more green, just in case, like I said. So here's our Gruul Guildgate, comes into play tapped. And we will shuffle and pass the turn. Doing it a little bit quickly. Now, if we get the artifact that allows us to have things come into play untapped, that's going to be so sweet. So here we are at 2 Guild Gates. Pass. Okay, Horde of Notions turn. Let's take a look here. So 3, 4 mana, island. So yeah, we can play whatever we want. We're going to go ahead and play our forest. Then we're going to pay 5 and get out Horde of Notions. So the thing I didn't explain in the first video, if you're not familiar with Commander, is that Commander is really based on around dealing commander damage. So if your commander, the creature that you've chosen to lead your deck, if it deals 21 points or more of damage, then the player who took that damage loses the game. And that's what we're going to aim to do. We have a few too many attacks to really get there, but we're really going to hope that Horde of Notions can take out the Maze's End before something catastrophic happens. Ramos is really the other one to really worry about, so hopefully Ramos can help us out, but then we may be in trouble and we'll have to figure out something to do about Ramos. So when we played the forest last turn, we get to put a land to play over here at the Reaper King, so we're going to go ahead and put Maze's End back into play from our hand, because we're allowed to do that. Oh yeah, sorry. So before we end the turn, we have Vigilance, Trample, and Haste with our Horde of Notions, and it's a 5/5, so we're going to go ahead and declare it as an attacker. Normally it would be tapped, but it has Vigilance. So Reaper King is going to take 5 points of damage, be at 31 life, and then we're going to have to start keeping track of commander damage here. So let me go ahead and do it like this. We'll say Reaper King has taken 5 from Horde of Notions. And we'll keep that off to the side to remind ourselves. Okay. So, next turn. Let's look over here. Ramos still trucking along very slowly. Draw a card. Lava Launch. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Liking that. Like, that's what I like to see. So, but we didn't draw land, which is very, very unfortunate. So we are going to go ahead and activate and make ourselves a mana rock. Let's see, let's make a little bit of a rock here. Does this look like a rock? I think maybe it's close enough. And then maybe some more shadow over here. Maybe some lines, right? The rocks have kind of crevices and such in them. So there we go. And then it has a tap that mana. Manas. One manas. One manas. Okay. Now we have one more manas. Almost to Ramos. If we draw a land next turn, that's gonna be exactly what we want. Okay. Back over here. Let's look. So, let's go ahead and untap, upkeep, draw. Ooh, Lord Windgrace. Interesting. So let's go ahead and put Vesuva into play. When it comes into play, you may have it come into play as a copy of another land. So we're going to have it come into play as a Maze's End, because of course we are. We also really do want to see what's on the top of our library. So let's go ahead and brainstorm. Look at the top 3 cards. What do we have here? Oh man. Oh, what is anybody going to do? How is anybody ever going to stop us? This is ridiculous. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get fielded to death. I mean, we draw 3 and then we put 2 back. Let's go ahead and put Godless Shrine back. We can do any of the cards in our hand, but I think I kind of want to hold on to some of these. So we're gonna bring Phyrexian Rebirth to our hand, because it's a Wrath card. Then I think that we're starting to look uncomfortable about the Horde of Notions, but the best thing that we can do is just keep ramping. So we're going to go and activate Maze's End again and return it to our hand. And then, yeah, we have 7 cards in hand. So we're going to go find another Guild Gate. Let's get something a little different. Let's go look for... I'm thinking, I don't know what... let's see. Maybe white and black. So the Orzhov Guild Gate. I almost passed it. Okay, there we go. We have the Orzhov Guild Gate. So I will shuffle up here real quick. And let's see what happens. So, pass the turn. Unfortunately for Horde of Notions, untap. We don't really have anything in the graveyard. Draw a card. It's not too bad of an elemental, but we really need the elementals that are in our hand into the graveyard. But we also just need elementals in the graveyard at all to increase our damage. So what we're going to do is play that. Then we are going to cast this Epiphany at the Drown Yard for X equals 5. So it's X and a blue, reveal X cards plus 1 card from your library, separate those cards into 2 piles, and an opponent chooses one of those piles. That chosen pile is in your hand, and the other goes to your graveyard. So we get 5, 6 cards. And how we want to separate this, we really want to divvy it up a little bit. Unfortunately, not very many elementals in this. Let's see. So, 6 cards, huh? So we want to separate it so that we can get the best benefit out of this. We really want Forgotten Ancient in our graveyard, which probably means that we don't really need it in our graveyard because we can cast it for less. So I'm thinking that it's probably better to do it this way, because anybody who's going to see this is that the Elemental Bond isn't really we're not playing creatures really right now. So we're not getting any drawing extra cards. And not only that, but drawing extra cards may not necessarily help us alone. Having more mana is probably going to be the big deal here. And then Forgotten Ancient being able to power up Horde of Notions so that we can start dealing more and more damage. That's what we really want, but it doesn't really matter where it gets put. So if they put it into our graveyard and make us pay 1 more, we get Druid's Repository, which gets us more mana. And then if they decide that they don't want us to have more mana, we get to cast Forgotten Ancient for 1 less. Because right now, Divine Reckoning really isn't doing anybody any good right now. And then the lands you can just separate. So I think that's what I would do on separating them. Now the question is, as an opponent, who would I choose? We don't want to choose the player who stands to lose the most. We want to choose the player who's neutral, who might actually give us something good, something that we want. So we're going to choose the Ramos deck to give us a card. Now, Ramos, looking at this, probably is going to determine or discern that if they get Druid's Repository, they're going to play Forgotten Ancient anyway. So it might as well be getting rid of it, because Divine Reckoning doesn't really hurt us. So we'll give the Horde of Notions deck the Forgotten Ancient and the land here, and go from there with that. Okay. So now Epiphany at the Drown Yard goes into the graveyard. We played a land here. We played the island. So over here, I would be tempted to put Maze's End into play, but we already have one in play. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put Field of the Dead into play, which is one of the cards that I got from the Brainstorm. Now, Field of the Dead has, when it or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So we control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands. 7 or more lands. They each have different names. We're not copying anything. So we get a 2/2 zombie, which is going to help us soak up a little bit of that damage from the Horde of Notions. Boom. Boom. Zombie time. So this would be like the scarecrows shambling out of the field if they were actually scarecrows, because they're zombies right now. But they could be scarecrows sometime in the future, maybe, possibly. Okay, so Horde of Notions turn, still going. That's unfortunate. So we're going to go ahead and Horde of Notions into the zombie. The zombie's going to die, but even still, the Reaper King deck is going to take 3 damage, so it's at 28, and the damage here, commander damage, is now up to 8. So we're just going to switch that over. Cool. We may get there sooner or later. Okay. Ramos' turn. Please let us get a land. We really want to land. We really want to land. Okay, Seaside Citadel. That's okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and take that. Put it into play tapped. Just do the same thing again. Let's go ahead and make another mana rock. This is a rock, right? Type of rock. There you go. Give us a little bit of a tap symbol and 1 manas. So next turn will be Ramos. We'll use up all of our mana to be able to play Ramos, but that's okay. Because the following turn after that is going to be the biggest party you've ever seen. Probably. Maybe not at all, actually, but, you know, it could be. Oh, and we did play land, so... It's so ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's what it is. It's actually ludicrous. Because we are going to go ahead and put Amazes into play. Because a land entered the battlefield and I control 7 or more lands with different names, I get a zombie. Even though I have 2 lands of the same name, I have more than 7 with different names. So yeah, this is not looking too good for other people because I'm going to draw this. Let's see, I mean, I could, but do I want to? Do I need to? That's the question. Do I need to? Let's see. Oh. I forgot something about Horde Notions last turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards in hand. So, I'm discarding Magmatic Force. That was the whole point here. That was what I was... You can only have 7 cards in your hand, if you didn't know. Unless you have a card that says otherwise. So, okay, so Magmatic Force is in the graveyard. That's not good. That's no bueno. We don't like that. We don't want Magmatic Force on the battlefield if we could possibly help it. So, let's see what we want to do, though. Actually, okay, so what we are going to do here, we're going to rearrange this a little bit, do this. We are going to tap 3. We are going to return, we're going to activate the Vesuva copy of this. Well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. So we're going to activate the Vesuva copy of this. We're going to return it to our hand for the Maze's End ability. We will search for another guild gate. We're not... I don't know that it matters. So at this point, we've got so many that it doesn't quite matter what we get. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Is It guild gate. And then we're going to be a little bit sneaky here. We want to start making it difficult to do things. We have a lot of... So the thing that I'm thinking about here is that we haven't played a land this turn. So what I want to do is I'm going to hold up some mana instead of activating Maze's End. Then I'm going to play Vesuva as a copy of Field of the Dead. Do it this way. And what happens is now I get 2 zombies because I have 2 Fields of the Dead. And they both activate when a land comes into play. So So now I have 6 power on my side of the field, which should help with the blocking of Horde of Notions and ultimately, hopefully, make Horde of Notions too expensive to cast. So we have 3 of them. Har, 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 har. Okay, pass the turn. So, this guy's turn. Let's go ahead and untap. Upkeep, draw a card. Command Tower, that's good. Do we want to play it? Is a question I don't want to know the answer to. Let's see. I think I probably should because I want to be able to start double casting things from the graveyard. So I'm going to go ahead and play that. I'm going to pay 5 and try to cast. Oh wait, so well first I get a land into play. So let's go over here with Burgeoning. We are going to put this Selesnya Sanctuary into play. When it comes to play, I get 2 more zombies. You see how absurd that is? And let's just... I don't know why I keep doing that, because I'm just going to get 2 more of these zombies out. So now we have more zombies. And because Selesnya Sanctuary came into play, we have to return a land or... Well, we basically have to return a land that we control back to our hand. And it could be useful to keep just bouncing Selesnya Sanctuary over and over again. But actually, I'm going to... I don't want to rely too heavily on the zombies. I just want enough zombies to block with. So I'm going to go and return Vesuva back to my hand so that I can possibly replay it as Maze's End. But then, Horde of Notions wants to... We're going to go kind of halfway here. Horde of Notions is going to cast Magmatic Force from the graveyard using Horde of Notions' ability. Because it was cast and not just put directly into play, we can do this. 1, 2, 3. We are going to cast Dissipate, counter target spell. Remove that spell from the game. Oof. Big oofs. Magmatic Force. I'm sorry, but you're done, son. You're done forever. Never coming back. Okie dokie. Well, that's a huge setback. Let's go ahead and pay 2. Let's go and cast Golgari Thug. And then we are going to hit for Horde of Notions. It's going to blow out 3 of these zombies. They're going to die, but that was sort of the whole point. Horde of Notions dies, and what do we want to do with it? I think we go ahead and... we don't have the ability to get back from our graveyard right now, so we're going to go and put it in the command zone. That's not ideal, but that's how it's going to play right now. Okay, pass the turn. Ramos, my man, you have to put a stop to this. Draw a card. It's a swamp. I desperately need land. I'm going to go ahead and play the swamp. Does the land deck have another land in its hand? Let's find out. Behind door number 1 is Vesuva. Comes into play tapped as a copy of Maze's End, which creates a zombie because of Field of the Dead. Okay. That's a thing. So we're going to come back here. All we can do, just mana rocks, Ramos, next turn, hope to goodness that we just dominate. Okay. Time to come here. Untap, 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 untaps. All the untaps. Untap. Draw a card. It is Urza's Factory, another land. Well, we haven't played a land for the turn, but what we're going to do is we're kind of okay. Let's see. What else can we really play? Everything else that we have is really expensive, so we're probably not going to play it. We're just going to go ahead and double activate here. We're going to activate both our Maze's Ends. We're going to search for 2 more guild gates. We will get 2 more zombies. And then we will put Maze's End into play tapped for the land for our turn, getting us another zombie. Let's go ahead and get those guild gates. Looking pretty good on the guild gates. Let's see. Demir guild gate. And I'm just coming, whatever one I come across is the one that I'm pulling here. So let's see. We need to double check how close we are. So that's Selesnya guild gate. Just do a quick shuffle. And see what's going on. Do a little deck cut here. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 of the 10 we need. That's only a few more activations and we win the game. So we're looking pretty as a princess. Let's go to the next turn. We don't even care to attack. We don't even care. Just blockers. That's all we do. That's all we do in the scarecrow field. And until they're scarecrows, they're just blockers. They can't move. So draw a card. Risen Reef. Not quite helping there. Okay. Let's see. What do we have? I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Almost right. Okay, let's see. I really don't like my odds here. I think the only way that we're going to be able to do anything is we probably need to go and play another land, which activates burgeoning again, and that means Vesuva is a copy of Maze's End, which gets us another zombie into play. And Horde of Notions. What we're going to do is we're going to pay 4. So the reason I'm just kind of tapping wildly over here, even though normally I would have to keep track of which mana I'm tapping, my Chromatic Lantern makes all of the lands I control tap for any color mana, so it doesn't really matter as long as I can count to the correct number, which doesn't always happen, but at least I don't have to keep track of the colors as well. Different story next turn. So I'm going to play Forgotten Ancient first. Then I'm going to pay 4 and cast Divine Reckoning. When that happens, whenever a player casts a spell, Forgotten Ancient gets a +1/+1 counter. So Divine Reckoning, each player chooses a creature he or she controls and destroys the rest. So I am going to go ahead and choose my Forgotten Ancient as the card that stays. Golgari Thug goes to the graveyard. Over on Ramos over here, definitely going to keep Ramos out. The Ramos deck wants Ramos out. Coincidentally, I don't know. It seems weird. It's weird, isn't it? Weird dude. And I don't know, this zombie is named Ted. Zombie Ted is going to stay alive. You must stay alive. Yeah, so I can't attack. I can't do anything else. I'm going to just go ahead and pass the turn. Ramos, it's your turn. It's your turn to shine. Now we got to figure... So, okay. When you untap with Ramos, it's a good day. It's a very good day. Oh my gosh, Feather. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Holy crap. Okay, that's bananas. That's like... Oh my gosh, what the crap? What the crap? This is... What? That's crazy. Oh man, okay, so Feather. We got Feather. I've been wanting to do this. a long time. You may not be able to tell, but I kind of want to do this. Okay. Is that the best way to do it? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to 1, 2. We need specific colors. We need to make sure we have green, so there's that. This is for white. These are for the rocks are another white and a red. That gives us Feather the Redeemed. So I was thinking actually about playing my Feather the Redeemed deck tonight and do a guild night, but instead I chose to do 5 color because 5 color is kind of fun and you don't really get to see very many all 5 color decks kind of battles. So I really wanted to do this tonight. Feather is a 3/4 flyer with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Oh boy. Holy crap. Holy crap, is that good. It is bananas good with Ramos because this is... Okay, so I know that I keep gushing. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do it. So we are going to pay 3, 1 to activate Moss Fire Valley, which gives us a red and green. Then we have the extra black. That's to cast the give side of give and take. Give, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I forgot about Ramos' ability. We have to go back. Okay. Ramos' ability. Whenever you cast a spell, you get to put a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of colors that card was. So we got 2 from Feather. Then we cast Give. Because we cast it, we get another counter. That's 3 on Ramos. Give gives it another 3 counters. Are you seeing why this is bananas? Because Give is going to exile, and we get to put it back into our hand and be able to basically pay 3 mana to put 3 more counters on Ramos. That's not all, folks. Ramos' other ability, remove 5 +1/+1 counters from Ramos, add 2 of each color mana to your mana pool. Activates this ability only once each turn. So I'm going to remove 5 counters and add 10 mana to my mana pool. Oh, that's bonkers. So, what's the best thing so we can... Oh, yeah, and... sorry, I forgot an Ancient over here. Activated twice because I keep casting spells. And it's going to keep activating, but let's see what else we can do here. Because I'm thinking that maybe... Let's see. To the power of the card you exiled. I don't think there's any creatures over there. There's not really any creatures in the grave. Like, there's one in Horde of Notions deck, so we don't really want to do that. 5. These, I think what we do is actually, we do these. So, first things first, we are going to, with 5 of our mana, we are going to cast... Yeah, wait. Yes, so we're going to hold on to these. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be double green, double white, and a blue. Yeah, that's how we want to do it. Okay. No, wait. Equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast it. Exile the card and cast it. Okay, actually, let's think about this. Is that how we want to do it? Because we want, maybe, ideally, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's do 1 of each color of mana. So we still have 1 of each color left. We're going to cast Bring Delight, get 2 counters onto Ramos, 1 counter onto Forgotten Ancients, which is up to 4. You can't see it, it's kind of off the screen, but... Yes, Cuckoo. Bring Delight. Search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast Bring Delight. Exile the card and then cast it. So we get to look for so many different things. Like, so much of the deck. Oh my gosh. Do we do that one? That seems bananas. But maybe. I think... Oh no. Oh no. What is that it? Is that what we play? Oh my gosh, there's like 2 cards that I could play and both of them are just broken craziness. And I kind of think that that's what I should cast though. Oh no. More than one choice is not good. I don't need more than one choice here. Cuz one gives extreme benefit now, but then the other will give so much more benefit later, and I think that's kind of what I want to do. Okay, yep, we're going... No, wait, it can't be enchantment. It's creature, instant, or sorcery. Okay, that solves it. We're going to get Corpse Jack Menace. Corpse Jack Menace. 4 cost, 2 colorless, 1 black, 1 green. 4/4. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be placed on a creature you control, twice that many are put instead. Yes, you heard that right. Yeah. Ramos is going to be doing some smackdowns here shortly. So let's do this. We shuffle, finish shuffling, bring to light. So because we cast a card with 2, because we cast it, so we get 2 more counters before Corpse Jack comes into play. Is that 5 now? We still have 1 of each color mana left. So we... I think this is the smarter play. So first... Forgotten Ancient actually goes up to 5 counters, but unfortunately we're actually gonna terminate the Forgotten Ancient. I'm scared of Horde Notions coming to play with that, so Ramos is going to get 4 counters and be up to 9 +1/+1 counters. And Forgotten Ancient would technically go up to 6, but then it dies, so yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Oh well. Oh well. We still have 3 mana left, 1 of each color. So we've used black and red. We're going to use the blue, green, white to cast Behemoth Sledge, which means that Ramos gets another 4 counters on it. He's 2 more colors of mana in the cost. So yeah, 4, 13. We're going to have to move over to some bigger dice here. 13 here. Yeah, that's almost a 1-hit KO. So let's go ahead and we're going to smack the land deck, Reaper King over there, for 17 damage in the air. And then at the end of the turn, so at the end of my turn, the give and take card comes back from exile back into my hand. Isn't that crazy? Okay, 17 damage. Yeah, well, I mean, commander damage put aside. 8, 5 more there. Another 10. No, wait, we were at 28. Sorry, let me backtrack. 21 for the 7, and then brings us down to 11 life. Not looking good for Reaper King. Not looking good for anybody, but even still, much equally so for Reaper King. Going to untap, upkeep, draw a card. We're going to have to do something about this. We have Rakdos Charm. Thankfully, we can do something about this. It's just a matter of how much mana we have and how much we can do. So let's see. We put these 2 aside. We do that and 4 more here. Oh, yeah, we have plenty of mana. Okay. Well, sorry, but we have to say goodbye. Good luck and good night. For Phyrexian Reaper, destroy all creatures, then create... Oh. I know that I was keeping track of this. 13. Oh, 17, sorry. 17 on Ramos. From Ramos. That was commander damage. I didn't mark it. Okay, sorry. Sorry for the interruption, folks. Destroy all creatures and create an XX colorless horror artifact creature, where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. So we are looking at 4 creatures are dying, 1 zombie over here. And then there's Corpjack Menace, Feather, and Ramos that get killed on the other side. Let us slowly move our way over to the other deck over here. We keep this, but we lose the rest of these, unfortunately. It was fun to play. I don't think that I'm going to return anything to my graveyard, so I think that's about it for that, unfortunately. Okay. So, we get a 4/4 horror. Let's go ahead and make it here. Little things on top, and then hands, right? We want some hands on the side of the face here, so you can see a couple more fingers on that side. Oh, the horror. That's terrible. That's awful. It's awful looking. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. We are going to pay 4 and activate Maze's End twice again. Let's go ahead and grab 2 more. We're running out, which is great news for us and not so great for anybody else. Let's see. Guildgate. 1 more Guildgate. I know that there's some more in here. Guildgate. So now we have 1 and then 2 more, I think. Yeah, we just have 2 more Guildgates left. So essentially, other players can't, if they want to be able to survive, they can't play any lands, because I'll be able to have both the guild gates, the Maze's End into play next turn. So they can't play it if they want to hope to have an extra turn to do something. So that kind of hurts Ramos over there, because not going to have enough mana to do stuff unless they draw mana. So, yep, going to put Maze's End in play, which creates a zombie, and then can't do anything else, so I'll just go ahead and pass. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Fertilid. So, nope. Let's go ahead and 5 mana, 7 mana. Go and play Horde of Notions here. Swing for 5. Going to double block and kill Horde of Notions. So the horror guy, unfortunately, is going to take it and die. So Horde of Notions 5/5, have to double block to take no damage. So the zombie gets to survive with 1 point of damage, but the horror has to die, unfortunately. And that's the Horde of Notions is the one who gets to pick how the damage gets dealt in this case. So that's why they're going to choose to deal 5 of the damage first to the horror, which then 1 is left over, which goes on to the zombie, but the zombie is a 2/2, so it doesn't die. Okay. Pass the turn. What can Ramos do? Hopefully something. I don't think so. Untap, draw a card. It is not a land. It is a creature that helps cast things. So let's go ahead and put into play. It costs a green and a blue, so this is the blue. These are the red and green. To play it, Um, hmm. Actually, so let's think about this. I think maybe we may be able to pull something off if we do... Do we do this and then... We equip... Is that how we do this? We equip Behemoth Sludge to this. I think we actually may have to attack with Weaver of Currents to try to win, because Ramos is going to be too slow to do anything. Because we're going to cast it on the turn that it needs to already be able to attack, and it's not going to be able to do that. Come into play and attack at the same time. We don't, unless we draw a thing with haste. So our best bet is to try to pump up Weaver of Currents and have enough trample to kill things. Keyhole things. Okay. Reaper King's turn. Let's see what happens. Let's untap, draw a card. Okay, well, game over. Okay, well, yep, that's it. Garruk wins. Garruk is going to win this. Okay, so put Vesuva into play tapped as a copy of Maze's End, creates a zombie. We are going to pay 3. Oh, could we have done... Hang on. I only had 1 mana left from activating. I actually couldn't activate twice last turn. So this is what it's going to be. We're going to return this and not do a... We're not going to search for a land. But what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and play Garruk Wildspeaker. So what it does is a Planeswalker, starts with 3 loyalty counters, costs 4. Let's go and pay that 4 real quick. Oh, no. Nope. I forgot about Selesnya Sanctuary. That actually counts as 2 mana. We did have enough mana to double activate. So, yeah, that's game. That's game now. So what happens here is that we activate for 1 Guild Gate, which we just did. We returned it. We then pay 1, 2, 3, 4 mana to play Garruk, which is a Planeswalker that starts with 3 loyalty. And its first ability is untap 2 lands. So we're going to go ahead and put it up to 4 loyalty. We're going to untap a Guild Gate and our Vesuva copy of Maze's End. And then do this one more time. Activate Maze's End, return it to our hand. We search for another Guild Gate, which could be anywhere at this point. Oh, there it is. So let's double check real quick that I have 10 Guild Gates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And Maze's End reads... If you control 10, so you return it to your hand, you search your library for a gate card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. If you control 10 or more gates with different names, you win the game. Woo! 5 colors wins. Oh, look. It's Entropy. Hey, Entropy, how's it going? Sorry, I just looked over. I haven't been looking over at the chat because there hasn't been anybody else on, so I haven't been paying attention. Hopefully you're still there. Was just getting done with this game, but if people are still willing to watch, then I don't mind playing a little bit longer. Oh, good. Good. I can replay these decks, but then I can also go get something else. Maybe something else exciting. Maybe a little bit quicker, too, so that we get done with this and it's not too late. Let me clean up here a little bit. Wait, no, that's all the lands. They're going to shuffle in really poorly if I do that. I mean, they're going to anyway, but it'd be helpful to not do it quite so poorly. That's okay, Entropy. I try to explain exactly what I'm doing, which, like I said, I just finished this deck, just won the game with an ability that basically goes, hey, if you do these things, then you get to win the game, and I did the things, so I get to win. I mean, I get to win against two other decks I was playing, but and I think so. What I'm thinking about doing is that during the week, if I play, I'll play normal decks, so-called, like just kind of whatever I decide that I want to play. But then on Sundays, what I'll do is I'll play the decks that I use to teach casual players how to, like, people who don't know or that are really unfamiliar with Magic. I have 10 different decks that I use to teach Magic essentially. So I'll play those on Sunday, so that it's a little bit simpler and not so much kind of craziness going on all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean up a little bit here, and then I'm going to grab a few other decks so that I can... These ones are so slow that I don't want to sit all night trying to play them. But I haven't quite pulled out any decks yet. For dinner, I got Frito chili pie, actually. Yummy, yummy Frito chili pie. Enjoyed it a lot. We have like New Mexican chili that we put into it, red chili that we put into it, and then some cilantro and scallions and some shredded cheese and Fritos and such. It's always really good. I've really liked it. Let's see. Like it's almost there. Let's see. Do that. Then clean this up. Yes, it is delicious. Oh, thank you. About the table, I actually made it. This whole design is one that I created it completely from scratch, and all the idea was that I made this just so that I'd be able to play Magic this way, be able to play against myself, and be able to kind of just rotate the table around between different decks. But the other point was that we have some family members who are a little bit older, and playing board games and card games gets a little bit more difficult for them because they can't reach across the table. So essentially, the idea was to be able to have a big lazy Susan, so that they could, like if it was Monopoly or something, they could just rotate the table around to get the board game closer to them, so that they wouldn't have to reach as far to be able to play games. So it's kind of, the table's kind of served dual purposes. Although I haven't gotten quite to using it for the whole board game with elderly people yet. Not as much anyway. Okay, so hold on to your sphincters. I'm going to put you on a be right back screen, and I'll be back in just a couple of minutes with a couple of new decks to play. Okay. 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 Got a couple more decks. A few fast ones. A few fast ones. See how it goes. So let's go ahead and shuffle this one up. This one is this is my affectionately named Bowser deck. Not Dick, Bowser deck. It has a big lizard on for its commander for the legendary creature that I'm using for it, and the deck is all about basically breathing fire on things. So hopefully we'll get to see a lot of burning stuff alive with it. Let's go ahead and shuffle up here. And draw a hand and see where we're at with this first for this game. With, like I said, so that's, yeah, just burning things, ramping meaning trying to get more mana so they can cast more things each turn. Let's see if we're going to get a good hand. We really need a good hand against what we're looking at here. Let's see. Not looking good. We're going to go ahead and reshuffle real quick. Didn't have any ability to cast cards on any turn at all, so that's not a good hand at all. I'm really hoping we need 3 colors of mana, but like 2 mana and a ramp card would be ideal, I think. It's normally how I've gotten away with this one. So gotta get a good hand though. Let's cut again. Let's see, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another land, green preferably. No, okay, still not a good hand. Ugh. Oh, okay, yeah. Ramping from Hearthstone. So I'll try not to use too much lingo, or at least try to explain lingo when I run into it. This in particular isn't a regular version of Magic, so to speak. This is called Commander. It's one of the formats of Magic that's meant to be more casual. You wouldn't notice that if you went to a game store anymore. But if you have a good group of friends that know how to have fun, Commander was meant to be played non-competitively. It was purposefully created by somebody to play in between competitive matches as a way to cool down and kind of, like beer and pretzels kind of thing. So that's why I really like playing it, is because it's just meant to be having fun. And it's sometimes hard to just have fun with Magic if you're not creating an environment that's meant to be casual. Too many people just can't help themselves and they play competitively because they don't know any other way. So it's hard. It's sometimes hard to find groups, and it's even harder to find groups now because Commander's definitely getting pushed into being a more and more competitive game. Oh, I dislike this hand very much. But I don't really want to keep just shuffling and shuffling and shuffling, so let's just hope we draw green mana, because then at least we'll play a turn 4 Kalamax. So anyway, Commander, you can only have 1 card of each name other than basic land, which is the land is what you use to cast things, what creates mana to cast things. You can only have 1 of each card in your deck, and with Commander specifically, you choose a legendary creature, and all of your deck has to be the colors that your Commander is. And it's basically a special card that you keep outside of the game, and you can cast whenever you have the mana for it, type of thing. So it's basically just like your Uber General type thing. So game starts with drawing 7 cards, and then, your starting hand is 7, and then you draw 1 for the first turn. Not really that good, unfortunately, but we'll take it. Go ahead and play a island, which taps for blue mana, one of the 3 that we need, and we will pass. So the second deck, yeah, COVID isn't really helping, but I mean, people were still playing anyway, really. I mean, like, it wasn't really holding people so far back that they weren't playing at all. And I was playing online all the time. So it was like, it didn't bother me one bit because I was pretty much doing that anyway. So the second deck that I have for the second game is Animar, Soul of the Elements. Which... This guy's pretty nasty, and we are going to see him do some crazy things. This deck in particular is meant to be sort of a movie monster type thing, which is why you see somebody 1 year actually made an altered version of this card. This isn't what it normally looks like, so they altered it to have Godzilla on the front so that I could have a Godzilla for my movie monsters deck. And it helped that 2019 they released a set called Ikoria, which was all about like making super huge, strong, crazy monster things, mutated monsters. So I got to like make this whole deck all about mutated giant monster things. And hopefully we will have a bit more luck with this one than we did with Kalamax with our shuffling. Let's see here. Forest Island. Actually, this is looking pretty good. We're missing 1 color mana, but that's okay. We should be able to dig a little bit with this Preordained. So I'm going to go ahead and take this hand and get started with this one. This is our starting 7. So our first land is Auspicious Starix, which is fine. Again, not quite what we want to see, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and play an island. And using that island, we will cast this 1-cost card called Preordained. So I scry 2, then draw a card. Scry 2 means I get to look at the top 2, decide if I put them on, want to leave them on top or want to put them both on bottom, and then I draw a card. So looking here, actually, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one on bottom. It's a nice card. I like it, but this Embodiment of Spring is going to ramp us into the 3rd color that we need to be able to cast Animar. It's really important that we do that, so I'm going to leave that on top and then draw it into my hand. Remaining at... So is that the new one? Did you watch the new one or any of the old ones? Because I know that there's some of the old Japanese Godzilla versus Kong stuff that's like... I don't know. I honestly haven't seen any of it. I need to see it, but I don't go to the theater enough to really see that stuff. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I'm going to like it. I feel like I'm probably going to enjoy it. You know, like it'll be an entertaining movie. Maybe not necessarily a great movie, but just entertaining. So okay, the new one. Yeah. Our third deck is going to be Winota, Joiner of Forces, which she is a beast. This deck, so the other 2 decks that I have here, one of them is really expensive. The other one is kind of is a decent amount, but this one in particular is one that I built to be as little as possible. So like as cheap as possible. Okay, popcorn flick. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. It's just like I don't mind popcorn flicks at all. Like popcorn flicks can be really good. I'm often in the mood to just kind of be entertained, and I don't want to. I'm not going to think critically about it. And there's a lot of movies that like if you think too critically about, you won't enjoy it. Like you'll notice all the plot holes. You'll notice bad acting and stuff like that. And it's like when you can put it aside, there's a lot of movies that are enjoyable, which is why I watch so many crappy horror films, because that's kind of those are my popcorn flicks a lot of the time, is like putting on some stupid teenagers all die in the dark after making stupid choices. I like doing that kind of stuff. As odd as that might be. Okay, let me look and see how much this Winota Joiner of Forces deck is. Because I'm thinking that it's really, really cheap. Last time I checked. Let's see, Architect. Tell me, Architect, tell me your secrets. What do we have? Gutter Winota is looking like let's see, is that still prices? Yeah, okay. So this Winota deck is $32 or so. It's super cheap, and yet somehow really good. I mean, it's mostly because of Winota is such a powerful card, but it's like how it's crazy how easy it is to make a really good deck that doesn't cost a lot of money, and people don't always understand that it doesn't always take all of the money you own to make a good deck. We can't do anything with that hand, though. One land, not enough. We don't have, like, any ramp in here. Yes, exactly. Geico commercial with the teens and the chainsaws. Exactly that. I was trying to... I was watching World War Z the other night, which I know that one's in pretty big contention with people. I think a lot of people really disliked the movie because it wasn't exactly the book, which is fair. I mean, it's a fair point. I did read the book after I watched World War Z, but I kind of went into watching it originally as I know that this isn't the book, and so whatever I'm seeing, I'm going to kind of evaluate as if it wasn't a... if as if World War Z was made as a standalone movie with no connection to anything else, and it made for like you said, a popcorn flick. It was okay. Like there were certainly parts that could have been better, but I don't know. I kind of enjoyed the narrative with the virus somehow recognizes that death is imminent, and so sort of avoids things. And I don't know. It seemed like it was put together well enough to be a good film, even if it was kind of silly. And I guess Brad Pitt does a decent job, I think. Like his acting is pretty good still, so. Let's see. I'm trying to get a good shuffle here. I got a good shuffle with the other decks that you didn't get to see me really play. And so now I'm playing with completely new decks. I'm just like playing like a scrub with the worst hands known to man. Let's see. So this isn't too bad. Let's see. We pulled way too many humans into our hand, so that's unfortunate. We'll still be really close to playing Winota, and hopefully by that point we'll be able to have a non-human creature to activate her with. So Winota, what she does is every time you attack with a non-human, you get to look at the top cards of your library and put a actual human into play for free. So you basically attack with a bunch of weak non-humans, and you get a bunch of really strong humans in response. So let's hope that we get what we need to really get a good hand here. Get some good plays. So, oh yeah, that's actually exactly what we need. That's literally the card that we're looking for. It's a non-human, and it gets us a land. So let's go ahead and put this into play tapped, and then pass the turn. So worthless human, classless humans, like in Munchkins. Classless, worthless. The humans actually are the there's some really, really good human cards in Magic. They went all out with a few different sets, and they made some humans like way stronger than they probably should have. So now it's like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Draw a card. Twinning Staff, kind of not what we wanted to see, but I guess we'll take it. We'll go ahead and play a Mountain. Can't really do anything else here, unfortunately. We're not getting any ramp. We're not getting the mana, the green mana that we need. So hopefully we're not dead in the water too badly. Animar deck. Let's go. Forest. Play it. Let's go ahead and pay a blue, and we are going to cast our Embodiment of Spring, which is the... it's a 0/3, so it's not too strong, but it has the ability to pay 2 mana and sacrifice it to get another land card, so we'll be able to ramp into the last color of mana that we need, which is red. Unless, of course, we end up drawing red, and then we may just skip searching. Back to Winota. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's not too bad. But unfortunately, we will have to play the Soetic Cavern. This is our backup possibility for getting a non-human creature. So, actually, I guess it comes into play untapped, thankfully. Let's think about this. I don't want to really play any of the cards in my hand. Lowly human scum. Nerf herder. Let's go back, pass the turn back to Kalamax. We're going really quickly here. I hope I'm not going too quick. If you have any questions, be sure to ask Entropy, because I'm happy to answer questions. Island. Not fair. Okay. Let's draw this. Play here. Actually, while we're not doing anything, I think we can do one thing, and I think it's maybe possibly... No, well, we can't. It's not enough. I guess we will just go ahead and play this Twinning Staff. So, 3 colorless. I see that. I see that emoticon. Twinning Staff. If I would copy a spell 1 or more times, I copy it that many times plus an additional time. So this particular deck is all about playing spells and copying them. So now if I ever get Kalamax out, my commander, I'll be able to. My commander copies spells, so I'll cast something, it'll copy it, then I'll get another copy of that with Twinning Staff. It's gonna go crazy. So let's go ahead and pass the turn back to Animar. So draw a card. Is it a mountain? No, it's just a ponder. Okay, well, that's okay. We will do this. We will play a forest, pay 2, tap this, sacrifice it to get a mountain, which will come into play tapped, I believe. Yeah, tapped. Okay. So let's go find us a mountain real quick. Let's see. Mountain. Also, if you really want, so here's our mountain into play tapped. Yes, I am countertop commander. That's it's a multiple play on words type of thing, because countertop is a strategy in competitive Magic. There's a card called Counterbalance, and there's another card called Sensei's Divining Top, and countertop decks would be a strategy that you could use in some of the higher levels of competitive play. But the other thing being that countertop is often like kitchen counter Magic would be like casual Magic. So kitchen counter, countertop commander, because I basically only play commander anymore. Sorry. So if you want Entropy, if you ever want to see a card more in detail, for any reason, I do have the ability to search up cards and put them on the screen. Here, give me a second, and I will put one on the screen for you once I get done mega shuffling here. So, let's see. I'll look up Counterbalance for you. And, come on. Here, so let me do this. So there's Counterbalance. There's that card. Whenever because I like to cook. I mean, yes, but no. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell. If it has the same converted mana cost as a revealed card. I know, that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Mumbo jumbo. Mumbo jumbo. Mumbo jumbo. Sensei's Divining... There we go. Sensei's Divining Top. So, yeah, I can put cards on the screen if you ever want to see something. I think it may be a little smallish on the screen. I may choose to make it a little bit bigger here sometime, but yeah, I can put it on the screen whenever we need. What else was I going to do here? Oh yeah, I was going to play Ponder. So I look at the top 3 cards of my library. Oh, well, those are all good cards. Let's see. I actually like all of those cards. So let's go ahead. I can put them back in any order, and then I may shuffle my library. I'm not going to. I'm just going to put this mountain on top with the Trumpeting Gar underneath and then the Rancor. So put it that way. And draw a card as the final effect for Ponder, which is this mountain. So 6 cards in hand, not doing anything else, so pass the turn. So here we go. Ooh, Dugar Hedge Mage. That's good. I actually, let's see, do I want to... 2 or more mountains. I guess I'm gonna have to get a mountain. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a plains. Then, yeah. Oh, Leviathan. Okay. I actually do have some Leviathan cards. I don't have them close by enough to be able to grab them. But I can. You're talking about. Let's see. Are you talking about this guy? Is it this one? This Leviathan? I guess there could be. Let me look one more time. Let me quickly look. Oh no. Here we go. This one 4th edition. Yeah. This one should be it. That Leviathan. That's the one you're talking about, right? No. Okay. Maybe you're saying no to the first one. This is I put 2 of them up. I think it was that one. It's this one that you're talking about, right? This one that's 9 cost. I'm going to go ahead and play this. So 3 mana, play Farfinder. It has Vigilance, and whenever it enters the battlefield, I can look in my library for a land card and put it into my hand. Then shuffle my library. I'm going to go get a regular mountain because I need those. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know why I picked the Savogian or whatever the hell that's called. Leviathan first, because I was like, wait, this can't be right. I was like, I think there's actually one called just straight Leviathan, but ever since that card got... Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be able to speed it up a little bit. I think I may just have to suffer with it being a little bit slow on the ping side, but yeah, so since that card got printed, there's been like 7 other cards with Leviathan in the title that's been printed, and a couple of them were a little bit older, so it was like I picked one quickly and then kind of went back and realized that's probably not the right one. I like the art for... I really like the art for Magic cards. The newer Magic cards, maybe not quite as much. Actually, my favorite Magic card here... Let me think about it. Oh, crap. It's slipping my mind now. Give me a sec. Let me do that and... Ooh... What is it called? I'm gonna have to, like... Horse? I think it's a horse. It may be a beast. Yeah. I'm trying to quickly find it because I know what I'm thinking about, but it's like wildfire or something. And I want to know what it is now. Of course. Oh, there we go. I think this is probably one of my favorite arts for a card. It's like its flavor text is, I knew a creature carved from a dream of wild freedom. Any attempt to leash or exploit it failed, and at terrible cost. So, okay, so that's what I did for this turn. Let's go ahead and go back to Kalamax and see. Spiders are the best cards. Yes, they are really good. I mean, I wish they were better, really. Mountain, that's not what I need. Oh, no. No, I'm falling behind very rapidly. Lighted woodlands and pass. Oh man, this is bad. Ooh, this is going to be bad. This is going to hurt a lot. Kalamax better hurry its little butt up. So Trumpeting Gar into my hand. Let us play another mountain. We will tap 3 colors, red, blue, green. Play Animar, Soul of Elements. It starts out as a 1/1, but it has protection from white and from black. And then whenever I cast a creature spell, I put a +1/+1 counter on Animar, and then creatures cost 1 less for each +1/+1 counter. It's a big mouthful, but what we're going to do is we're going to pay 2 and cast Mecha Godzilla Battle Fortress. It's really a card called Hangerback Walker, but this is an alternate version of it that they printed. Yeah, Gurgian or spiders. Yeah, Animar is a really, really good card. So it's going to get a +1/+1 counter because I cast a creature spell, and that creature comes into play with 1 +1/+1 counter. So it's a 1/1. Which means that next turn my creatures will cost 1 less to cast. And then I'll cast a creature and make them cost less, and then just over and over again. Entropy, one day what I might try to do is I might try to design a couple more cards. So I actually have designed a few cards, one of them specifically for Gurgi, because she didn't have any spider commanders, and I really wanted Gurgi to be able to play a spider tribal deck that was just all spiders, essentially. But there wasn't one at any point, so I actually designed one for her so that she could play. So we have like a custom-made card that doesn't exist anywhere else. So I may have to do like a day where it's just all made up cards, essentially. Okay, so untap. Upkeep, draw. It is a plains. That's not too bad. Kind of could be better, but that's okay. Let's go and play a mountain. Let's pay 4 mana, and we will cast Winota, Joiner of Forces, from our command zone. So we have a couple choices here. Unfortunately, Animar is going to just be a pain, and there's not much we can do about it. So we really want to be able to like take out Animar in a single hit if we can. And we can do that pretty quickly once we get some more cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack the defenseless Kalamax over there with our Farfinder. And once we do that, we get to activate Winota, Joiner of Forces ability, which is whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. So we will pull 6 here and then look at what the rest of the ability is. I can put a human from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn, so it can't die for sure from combat. And then put the rest of the cards on the bottom of my library in a random order. So let's look at what we have here. Oh my gosh, it's no contest. So there's a couple of good humans here. There's actually 3. Unfortunately, a couple of the other cards that we might have wanted to have in our hand later is here, but instead we're going to put Angrath's Marauders into play, tapped and attacking. So Angrath's Marauders would cost 7 mana to play, but I can take off. Yeah, I can take off Spitmare. I just had it up because I was talking about my favorite art. So Angrath's Marauders is a 4/4 with if a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. So instead of 1 damage to Kalamax, it's going to be 2. And instead of 4 damage, let's see, do I have to put the human into play tapped and attacking? And I don't have to choose the same player, so I can choose a different player. I'm going to choose Animar. Absolutely going to choose Animar. So Animar is getting a 4/4 attacking him that has essentially double damage. So this is where spiteful. This is where everything's going to go topsy-turvy because Winota is going to take over the game if Animar doesn't do something about it very, very quickly. So Animar is going to block with Mechagodzilla Battle Fortress, and Mechagodzilla Battle Fortress is going to die. And when it dies, I get a 1/1 Thopter creature. That's a 0/1. Oh no, I guess it's a 1/1. Never mind. A 1/1 Thopter creature. For each +1/+1 counter, there was only 1 counter. So instead of taking 8 damage, I am going to just get a 1/1 Thopter. So let's see. Let me go ahead and grab. I'm sure that I have a Thopter token somewhere, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and draw one out here. Thopter. So that here, let's go ahead and do a little cockpit like this. Side comes up in the back and then straight on till morning. So let's do it like this here, and then like this, and then we'll have a Thopter-y type, helicopter-y type thing here. So then a cockpit and legs, get a 1/1 here. I'm pretty sure it's, did it say flying? I'm pretty sure they're flyers. Yeah, they have flying. Of course they do. Of course, it's a helicopter. Of course it has flying, right? Flying. And then we'll put a little face. We'll put a couple people here inside. There we go. Now we have a 1/1 Thopter. Yes, fellow lefty. Did you know when I first started doing games online, my camera was all messed up and I couldn't get it to, everything was reversed. And so I was having to do everything backwards. I was having to write words and everything onto cards backwards. So instead of Thopter here, it would, it would be like, I would have to do it like, Thopter. I'd have to do it like this, and people would be like, "Oh, that doesn't look too bad," because I'd be like, "I'm sorry if this looks really terrible," and they'd be like, "No, it looks fine." I was like, "Well, I'm writing it backwards, so I hope that it looks good enough to read, because otherwise it's completely worthless." And they were like, "What? What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense." Yeah, Kalamax going to just eat 2 damage, unfortunately. So he's at 38. So Commander normal magic starts at 20 life. Commander starts at 40 to give you a little bit extra time to do stuff. Okay, so let's see. We don't really have anything else from Winota's turn because they're tapped out. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Kalamax again. That is not what I want. I don't want a mountain. Mountain. Let's see. I think that I need to try to help slow this down. So let's go ahead and we're going to cast one of our burn spells, which I didn't really want to do, but here we are. Actually, do I want to do it? I want to do it like this, I think. Yeah, that's how I want to do it. So I'm going to play Geistfire. Deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Our Farfinder over at Winota loses their Farfinder. It is dealt 2 damage. It only has 1 life or one toughness, so it's going to be gone. No more Winota triggers next turn, it looks like. Okay, so that's all they're going to do. Let me go and move that to the graveyard. Or off the table, you know, whichever. Untap, upkeep, draw. Our draw is Rancor, which we technically already knew, but that's okay. Let's see. What do we want to do? I'm not sure. Okay, well, we're going to at least test this out. So, let us pay 5 mana to cast Auspicious Starix, which normally would be 6. So instead of this normal cost, I'm actually going to pay its alternate cost of 6 mana, but to mutate. And instead of paying 6, it'll only cost 5 since Animar reduces the cost by 1. And what will happen if this gets allowed is whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanents, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Well, Kalamax is seeing this, and I think Kalamax is deciding that this is unacceptable, because that would mean that we would have an 8/8 Animar, because essentially what happens with this mutate is the mutate goes on top, and the creature becomes a 6/6 with all of the abilities that I had before, which would be, and it would have a +1/+1 counter, so now it would be an 8/8. So we're not going to allow that. It'll still get the counter from casting the card, but Kalamax over here is going to pay 2 and cast Counterspell, counter target spell. So unfortunately, Animar is not going to get to do that. It is only going to get the initial +1/+1 counter. So at that point, Anwar is going to go ahead and, in revenge, which is what I would do if I lost a good card like that. This is what I would do, and that's to attack the player responsible for that bullcrap and attack the Kalamax player for 3 damage. So Kalamax is down to 35, and then he's also taken 3 commander damage from Animar, and we really need to keep track of that. So let's see, Kalamax, Bowser. What am I doing? The deck is Bowser, not anything else. Bowser has taken 3 damage, commander damage from Animar. Okay, that's good. Now let us pass the turn back to Winota. I'm actually going to take a sip of my tea here. Okay. Winota's turn. Winota is probably... Well, actually, Winota can attack this turn. So, untap, draw a card. It is Cartographer's Hawk. That's fine. Let's go ahead and play our planes. And then... Let's see. So, we can't do anything about the Winota activations, but we can go ahead and set up for next turn. So what we're going to do to set up is we're going to pay 4 and play Ogre Battle Driver, which is a 3/3 for 4 to colorless 2 red to cast, which is, here's our red mana. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste. Because it wasn't bad enough that creatures would come into play for free, they're also going to get +2/+0. So now, thank you, Cuckoo Clock. Thank you, Cuckoo Clock. That is Cuckoo. We are going to attack 1. Winota is going to go after Animar, and Angrath's Marauders is going to go after Kalamax. So 8 damage coming to both of them. The Animar player is going to go ahead and let's go and shuffle over here. Animar is going to block with our Thopter, unfortunately, and our pretty Thopter picture is going to die. But I take no damage, so that was a goal. Over here, though, Kalamax is definitely going to eat 8 damage to the face and be at 27. Not looking good for Kalamax. unless this is a green, this better be. It's gonna be if it's gonna be a green mana that I need to play, it's gonna come into play tapped. I bet you. So what is it? What is it? I don't want to look. I don't want to look. Oh, it's a mountain. What the crap? Okay, well, another mountain. Huh. That's not good. That's not good at all. I guess that's it for the turn. Because oh my gosh, really? That's all that I can do? Oh, this is not what's supposed to happen with this Kalamax deck, I swear. I swear it's better than this. I swear it's so much better than this. Okay, untap, Animar. Animar is going to do good things, though. Oh, Domri Raid. That's okay. Let's see. Let's see what we have. So, let's do this. I think we need this red for sure. We need a blue and a green for the other thing that we could play, which I think that we will. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't let us do anything else this turn, unfortunately. Let's switch this up, actually. Let's just do double red. Okay, so let's go ahead and pay 2 to cast this Cloud Piercer with its mutate cost. So like last time, the mutate, first I cast a creature spell, so Animar goes up to 3. Then Cloud Piercer mutates on top of Animar, making it a 5/4 without the +1/+1 counter, so now it's an 8/7. And whenever this creature mutates, you may discard a card. I am going to discard Void Slime. And when I do that, I draw a card. So let's draw a card. It is Shamanic Revelation. That's fine. Then let us go ahead and do 2 more mana. And we will mutate, cast again with Trumpeting Gar. So cast a creature spell. Usually we cast 5 to be able to do its mutate cost. But because it's reduced by 3 here from Animar, it only costs us 2, which was either 2 blue, 2 green, or a blue and a green. So we paid 2 green. Animar gets a +1/+1 counter. Trumpeting Gar mutates on the bottom. We get 1 mutate trigger, which is from Cloud Piercer. Whenever it mutates, we can discard a card. And if we do, we draw a card. So I'm going to discard Plasm Capture. And when I do, I draw Frontier Pivot. And then the other trigger is whenever this creature mutates, I get a 3/3 Beast token. So let us find, actually, hey, I'm looking straight across the table and one's staring me in the face. There's our Beast token. Okay. So now Animar is going to have a little bit of a chat with Winota over there. And by chat, I mean slamming in for 9 damage. 9 commander damage. Ouch. And Winota is definitely, absolutely, totally not going to block, actually. So Animar is tapped here, so now it can't do anything more. But Winota is going to take the full 9 damage, be at 31, and we're going to have to make a new card here for commander damage, which is disgusting. Disgusting. Let's see. Worthless Humans. Do this. 9 Animar. I'm almost feeling like maybe Animar is the only one going to deal commander damage. So there we go. Worthless Humans. 9 damage from Animar. The point of that is that if you take 21 or more points of damage from one commander, you lose the game. So that's why we have to keep track of it, is because we might end up taking enough to lose the game from it. So we're going to have to keep very careful track on that. So it's going to go over to Winota, untap, draw a card. It is a Plains. Okay. So get a Plains here, play that. We are just going to go bananas this turn, I think. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pay 2. We are going to cast our... We're going to cast Cartographer's Hawk. So it's a flying 2/2 creature. When it deals combat damage to a player who controls more lands than you can return Cartographer Hawk to your hand, and if you do, you can search your planes for your library for planes and put it into the battlefield. We're not going to really be doing that, so that's okay. Pay 3 more mana. We're going to also cast Dugar Hedge Mage. And because I control 2 or more planes when it comes into play, then I get to destroy an enchantment. There are no enchantments out, unfortunately. I wish I had more mountains, but I don't. So that's how it's going to be. Now, since both of these came into play, they both get +2/+0 and haste. Goody! Goody for us. Goody, goody gumdrops. And that means that we are just going to annihilate somebody. And in this case, I think it's going to be Animar, because Animar may kill us next turn if we don't. So everything is going to go after the ill-fated, star-crossed Animar over there. We attacked with 3 non-human creatures, so we get 3 triggers from Winota, which means that we look at the top 6. Here's 1 trigger. We look for a human. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put Frontier Warmonger into play, tapped and attacking Animar. So that was 1 trigger. Going to put all of these on the bottom. Then we're going to look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what else we have. We did not see a human, so nothing happens. It was a bunk 6 cards, which is okay. We're kind of split down the middle on humans and non-humans in this deck, so not too surprising there. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look again. And unfortunately, we missed on humans a second time. We have a non-human here, but not a human, unfortunately. So that's the only one that we're going to get human-wise. But that's okay, because we're still going to deal almost enough damage to kill, I think. So Frontier Warmonger is going to get the +2/+0 haste from our Ogre Battle Driver. And most likely, that's so we have 1 blocker over at Animar's side. If we turn a little bit here, kind of get us a look at both of the fields. So this beast token is going to look to block the creature that is going to deal the most damage, and that's going to be Frontier Warmonger. So Frontier Warmonger's damage is not going to go through. But we still have a lot more to count. So we have 4, 8, 11, 15, 19 damage times 2. So that means that Animar's deck is down to, oh my gosh, seriously, it's down to 2 life. If we had gotten literally 1 more human, it would have been a 1-hit KO. And that is the power of Winota. Just randomly almost winning the game in 1 turn. So, oops, I don't need that. It's only 2 life. And I'm not even going to bother keeping track of Winota's commander damage on Animar, because if they attack 1 more time, that's game. So I'm not too concerned about Winota damage at this point. Okay, let's see what else happens here. So Kalamax is going to draw a card. Scavenger Grounds. Crappy card right now. Let's go ahead and put it into our hand. Play a mountain. We are going to... Let's see. Yeah, I think we want to pass the turn, because there's not much we can do here. So untap, untap. Upkeep, draw a card. It is a mountain. Not really what we're wanting to see. Let's think about this. Actually, so we play this mountain. We may be okay here. I was afraid that maybe we wouldn't be, but let me think. Because we already dealt 9 damage with Animar. We're going to deal another 9 for sure. That's put us up to 18. But that's not quite enough. And I'm afraid of what we could have done different. So let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3. We are going to go ahead and cast Domri Raid. Domri Raid is a planeswalker, so it's like another player, essentially. It gets to have its own abilities. It starts off with these 3 counters on it, and then I can, with its first ability, give it 1 more counter, look at the top card of my library. If it's a creature card, I can put it into my hand, which would solve almost all my problems, depending upon what it is. And it is not a creature, so it just stays on top of my library. And unfortunately, that's pretty much all. That's game, unfortunately, because I do this. I play Rancor, enchanting my Cloud Piercer, and then swing for 11 damage and bring our count up to 20. Literally 1 damage away from getting commander damage here. So this is up to 20. It needed to be 21. So Winota is down to 20 life left. And let's see what happens with the Winota deck, which I think essentially just almost de facto wins here. So untap, 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 upkeep, draw a card. So it's just a plains. Yeah, just a plains, right? So draw plains here. We have this much mana, so yeah, I think that it just makes sense to go ahead and to just cast my hand, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and first pay 4 mana. Is that how I want to play it? Yes. So 4 mana, and I'm going to cast Talus Paladin. So Talus Paladin, whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield under my control, I may have allies I control gain lifelink, and then put a +1/+1 counter on Talus Paladin. So it gets a +1/+1 counter. It gets +2/+0 from Ogre Battle Driver. And then, let's see. Oh, so yeah, lifelink, +2/+0, and haste. I'm going to pay 3 more, and I'm going to attempt to cast Fire Mantle Mage, which in response, so the thing here is that Kalamax does have one thing that I can do this turn. We're going to go ahead and play it out like we would if... I mean, there's really no point. Winota is essentially won against the decks that are monetarily cost way more money, which is the amazing thing about it. I'm going to cast Brutal Expulsion. It has choose one or both, return target spell or creature to its owner's hand, and it deals 2 damage to target creature planeswalker, and if that permanent would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. So I'm going to choose both. The first one we're going to do is we're going to return... Now, here's the tricky part. I think we return Ankarad's Marauders back to the hand. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to kill the... What do we kill? What do we kill here? We deal 2 damage to something. So I think actually we do it after Fire Mantle Mage comes into play. So Fire Mantle Mage is going to get exiled and die because it doesn't have enough it doesn't have enough health to survive. So Talus Paladin still gets the +1/+1 counter, and lifelink again. I mean, double lifelink, which basically is just regular lifelink. And then we go to combat. So Animar doesn't have any blockers whatsoever. It has a couple of mana out, so what we'll probably do is go ahead and attack with Animar with 2 different creatures here, but then the rest of these creatures are going to attack Kalamax. So we don't get double damage, but we do get 3 triggers from Winota, and we also, with Frontier Warmonger, all of my creatures can't be blocked unless they're blocked by 2 or more creatures. So even if Animar had shenanigans, which it doesn't, it probably wouldn't be able to do anything about blocking. So that's why these 2 creatures, so that we just doubly make sure even if Animar kills one of them, there's still another one that hangs around and probably deals the damage that we need. So let's go ahead and do the first trigger from Winota. Here's 6 cards. Let's look. Yeah, it looks like we have 1 human. So Kabira of Angel, when it or an ally comes into play, allies I control gain protection from the color of my choice. I'm going to choose blue as my color of choice. So it comes into play, gets +2/+0. Talus Paladin gets a +1/+1 counter and gives Kabira of Angel lifelink. Let's go ahead and look at the next 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get Horde Freeblade, which comes into play. Gets a counter from coming to play. Actually, let me do one that we can actually see a little bit of. It gets +2/+0. Then Talus Paladin goes up to 4 counters and gives Horde Freeblade lifelink. And it gets the +2. Yeah, I said the Ogre Battle Driver already. So then we do one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look and see what we got. Oh, so... Well, these would have been useful. These 2, these are my removal cards. We don't really have anything that we want to remove, so we're going to go ahead and do Lantern Scout, which is another ally, which means that Talus Paladin goes up to 5. Oh, dropped it. And Horde Freeblade also triggers from allies entering, so it gets another +1/+1 counter. Then now, because Lantern Scout came into play, all my creatures gain lifelink, and Battle Driver gives it +2/+0. Yay! More insanity. So, let's see, that's 4 damage from these 2 that goes straight to Animar's face because there's no blockers, so they're out of the way. Now the rest of these all deal damage to Kalamax, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, sorry. That's 4. This is 8. No, wait, 9 damage. This is 13. This is 22. This is 25. Then another 8 is 33. So 33 damage. I gain 33, 37 life back from lifelink. So now Winota is up to 37 life. No wait. Even more than that. Oh, sorry. It's actually, Jesus, holy crap. 57 life, and Kalamax is down to 4 life. Okay, well, there's pretty much nothing that Kalamax can draw this turn. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. That's it. That's the game. Winota wins, as usual. I mean, seriously, as usual, Winota pretty much wins every game that I play it in. I did a game where it was... we all brought decks that were less than $50. And I don't think that they really thought about how good you could build a deck that costs less than $50. And I was I was thinking, because the group that I was doing this with, they all play decks that are way stronger than mine. They always do. I lose almost every single time we play. When we did play anyway. And they would just rock my socks off. So what I was expecting is that they would all bring the best decks they could possibly build for less than $50. They didn't. They're not even slightly, not even close. I destroyed them. I killed them. I killed like 3 other players with this Winota deck on like turn 4. They just didn't have a single chance of ever winning that game. And I feel a little bad about it, but they also do always win. So I also kind of don't. Man, how many turns was it going to be? Jeez, I need to fix this deck or something. Holy crap, it should not take this long to get to green mana. Wow, that was bad. That was a really bad hand. Okay. Oh, yeah, they were jerks. All of them except for one. I still feel bad, though. I kind of wish they would have, like, that I would have been a little bit differently. I still could play against them, Entropy, but it's just, I haven't enjoyed it, and, like, the one guy who had been leading the group, who had been the one to invite me, and I really like him, and he'd been like a leader in the Commander and the Magic community as a whole. He's been a leader with them for so long, and I was like, this guy's really good. I really like him. I'll definitely play as long as he's playing. I'll definitely play in the group. And just like a couple of weeks ago, he decided to sell all of his Magic cards. He doesn't play Magic at all anywhere. At nothing at all. He sold everything, and I was like, oh. Well, I guess I'm not playing with this group anymore. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of start winding down here. So yeah, good night, Entropy. I'm calling it here soon as well. So thank you for watching. I'm really glad to see you on. And I'll have to catch you tomorrow with Mookie or somewhere else, maybe Ronnie or somebody. Nice for it to be Friday. So, yeah, having fun though. I even though I'm not playing that group anymore, I actually do like playing this way. I like sitting down this way. So, I'm glad to kind of get to share that with other people, even if they don't know anything about Magic. It's kind of fun just to play here and talk and do it this way. So thank you very much, and I'll start shutting down the stream now. I don't have any closing screen yet, so I'll probably just turn it off. So have a great night.